Good morning, good morning. So, have you ever noticed how some people just seem to breeze along into a new job or into their next position or through promotion or whatever it is within their career, whilst you maybe struggle even to just get an interview? Well, this is mostly down to the approach that you take. Because the same situation exists for you and as exists for the person that you're looking at that you think has just breezed into that role. I'll tell you, this is James Foster and Careers Matters. I want to tell you a little story about somebody that I got put into a job in a way that may make you feel that he'd just breezed into it if you'd have been looking from the outside. But the work and the approach that we'd taken on the inside that had gone into the placement was what actually made the difference. And this is stuff that you can do for yourself, or you can come to somebody like myself and we can help you to do it. But it's as simple as this. There's a mechanism, shall we say, that recruiters have used forever, as far as I'm aware, to help find where there are opportunities, and that is to use what we call a placeable candidate, somebody that is unique in the market, that's got skill sets that's in demand, somebody that has a track record of achievement, or that we can bring out the achievement. And what we do with these people is we sell them. It's as simple as that. They become a product, and they become the mechanism by which we go into organisations, knock on doors, and find out where there are opportunities, as we have something to sell. Now, that can be done with various degrees and levels of success, of course, and there are people that do this well, and there are people that do this badly. But as I said, I want to tell you a particular story about a senior executive that I worked with a number of years ago, who was working for one of the large telecommunication vendor organisations at the time, and had been running a particular part of the business that was to do with service that organisation had been offering. So the services, all of the support functionality and everything that the organisation was running for its clients were telecommunications service providers. That's all relatively irrelevant. The detail is irrelevant. The point is that he was running this department. But he'd been taken into that department early on, and he'd made massive changes into it, and had created a huge success within the organisation. So this is his achievement. And we looked at that success that he'd made. Just to make sure the picture's clear, he's looking now to move. He's done the job that he wanted to do at this particular organisation. He's looking for his next challenge, because this is what some people do. They don't want to stay in the same role. They go in to do the job that they want to do. Then it's time to move on and find the next challenge. And this is where he was in his career. So we looked at him and looked at the achievement that he'd made, and decided that it was that he was a placeable candidate, somebody that we could take out to a certain few organisations. Now, a true placeable candidate is somebody that would fit into a lot of different organisations, and there would be a number of potential opportunities that could open up for him. But in this particular case, in this particular individual's story, he was capable. He was going to be attractive in a certain few areas, and it was about identifying those organisations that would have need of what this person could do in the development work within the team that he was able to do, in the change that he was able to create, in the value that he ended up bringing to that organisation, the revenue value I'm talking about here, the margin value, the money that he added to the bottom line of the business. And we packaged that up and we made a presentation of this individual. And I think I targeted about 6 different companies, and only 6, where I knew that there was specific activity taking place. And I knew that there was activity. I knew that they would be interested, or they could be interested, not they would, but they could be interested in somebody with this particular set of skills, this experience. And I literally knocked on the doors. I tried to make phone calls. I left voice messages at 3 of the organisations. And one of those voice messages got returned to me because I'd levelled just to see what you might call an elevator pitch. But it was enough to tweak the attention of the person concerned. And we were, and I got a call back from the HR from that particular organisation, and we set up a meeting for me and that organisation, so that I could go in and talk a bit more about what this individual could do, and obviously agree business terms with that company. Within a couple of months, that guy was taken on to run a particularly large project within that organisation, which involved massive change. It involved taking a program that was, if I say failing, it's not quite the right term, but it needed restructuring, it needed re-engineering. And so this guy was able to come in and do that re-engineering work. And we made a very successful placement. To the outside, it might have looked that he just breezed in because all of a sudden you've got the right guy waltzing in to the job to do the job. But actually the work that had gone on behind it with what he had done and with what I had done, and then lining him up for the organisations where he might be of interest. And we got interest from more than one organisation, by the way. But all of that work is what made it happen, and you can do the same thing yourself, because this was all about understanding value. This was all about understanding what this individual could do for his potential employer. What were there to perceive and understand what their potential problems were going to be, and to demonstrate the ability by referring to what is already achieved to turn that event around, to make something happen, to create the value that he clearly could create. So the point of this brief story, and I hope you've got the gist of what I'm trying to say here. The point of this brief story is that what we did for this particular person, as I've already said, you can do for yourself. And the mechanism by which you can do this is by telling stories. It's by creating the story of your success, of the value that you have had with the businesses that you've worked for. Whether that is as a program or a project manager in delivering the programs and the projects that you've done, within a sales organization or a pre-sales organization, in delivering the business, in creating, in turning around accounts, in generating new areas of business, in product development, whatever it is that you particularly do, that you have made a difference and had an impact in. And you should be somebody, most of us are in jobs, we do a good job, we've had an impact. It's just understanding what that impact is. And a lot of us don't actually, we're actually scared. We don't like to sell ourselves. But this is the process. It's about understanding what that value is and just creating a story around what that value is. What was the situation that you found yourself in? What was the challenge that needed to be overcome? What was the problem, the issue? And in order to overcome that challenge, or to meet that challenge, overcome that issue, that problem, what was the task? What did you have to do? What was the job that was needed? And how did you go about doing that job? And what was the result quantifiably? And that's the story that you tell. And it's about anticipating what the problem is for the organisation that you're trying to pitch into, and effectively within your story solving that problem. Now, is it going to hit every time? Of course not, because the chances are that the organisation you go to are not going to be working in that particular, have that particular challenge at that particular time. But you need to, but if you've identified the right areas, the right businesses, and you approach enough of these people and you're approaching them, you're not applying through the job market, you're approaching these people directly, and you're telling your story to them, you're getting your presentation across, and you're showing the difference you can make. It has an impact. It does. It always will. And the reason is because you are bringing the solution to one of their problems. And believe me, they're very interested in the solution to their problem. You want to know more about this? You want to know how to create that story. You want to know how to make that presentation and create that presentation. If you would like to know how to identify the right organisations, if you want to know how to get in front of the right people, then that's what we can help you with. That is what we can show you how to do. That is what Career Matters does. If you follow the link that comes with this video, and you can schedule yourself a 20-minute call with me to discuss how we can help you to pitch yourself, to tell your stories into your marketplace and have a real impact, so that it can seem to others that you've just breezed into the job for yourself. This is James Foster, and Careers Matter.